Unraveling the stories of these musicians, we delve into the lives of those who left an indelible mark on music history. From rock legends to pop icons, each chapter reveals a unique journey filled with triumphs and tragedies. Elvis Presley's impact on music and popular culture remains unparalleled. With his charismatic charm, boyish good looks, and a versatile voice, he became the undisputed king of rock and roll in the mid-1950s. His electrifying performances, complete with his infamous hip-swiveling moves, captivated a generation of teenagers and transformed the music scene forever. Beginning his meteoric rise with chart-topping hits like Hound Dog, Heartbreak Hotel, and Don't Be Cruel, Elvis quickly became a cultural phenomenon. His music resonated deeply, crossing racial and cultural barriers and defining the sound of a new era in American music. In 1958, Elvis interrupted his skyrocketing career to honor his Army draft order, a move that didn't derail his success thanks to a backlog of recorded hits and a memorable appearance on a Frank Sinatra television special in 1960. The 1960s saw Elvis diversify into acting, starring in a series of films that showcased his charm and musical talent. And despite his film commitments, Elvis returned to his musical roots with a groundbreaking NBC special in 1968, famously known as the '68 Comeback Special. This marked a resurgence in his career, paving the way for his iconic Las Vegas residencies. While the 1970s brought further musical success, it was also a period of personal turmoil for Elvis. His divorce from Priscilla Presley, coupled with health issues and a reliance on prescription medications, marred his later years. And as Bono once reflected, the Vegas period is underrated. By that point, Elvis was clearly not in control of his own life, and there is this incredible pathos. Elvis Presley's tragic death in 1977 at his Graceland estate shocked the world. Officially attributed to heart disease, speculation persists that drug use may have contributed to his untimely demise. Despite his troubled final years, Elvis's influence endures, from tribute artists to posthumous chart toppers like A Little Less Conversation. Elvis Presley continues to reign as the king of rock and roll, his legacy cemented in music history. Bob Marley, along with his band The Wailers, revolutionized music by blending reggae and rocksteady into a genre-defining sound. His influence extended far beyond music, embodying the Rastafari movement with his trademark dreadlocks and spiritual lyrics. Marley gained international fame when Eric Clapton covered his song, I Shot the Sheriff, bringing reggae to a global audience. Despite his rising fame, Marley faced a personal health crisis in 1977 when he was diagnosed with acral lentiginous melanoma, a rare form of skin cancer. Initially advised to amputate his toe, where the cancerous lesion was found, Marley opted for a less invasive procedure. He continued his musical career despite declining health. Marley's cancer eventually spread, leading to his untimely death at the age of 36 in Miami. His legacy, however, remains immortal. His 1984 posthumous compilation album Legend became the best-selling reggae album of all time, solidifying his status as a cultural icon whose music continues to inspire and resonate worldwide. Karen Carpenter is remembered not only for her remarkable vocals, but also as one of the few female drummers hailed among the most talented of all time. Alongside her brother Richard, she formed the iconic duo, the Carpenters, achieving multiple chart-topping hits on the Billboard Hot 100, including classics like We've Only Just Begun and They Long to Be Close to You. Despite her musical success, Carpenter battled severe body image issues from a young age, leading to a dangerous cycle of dieting. By 1975, she had reached a dangerously low weight of 91 pounds. In an era when eating disorders were not widely understood or discussed, Carpenter sought help and appeared to be on the path to recovery. However, by 1983, after gaining some weight, Carpenter's health took a devastating turn when she collapsed at her parents' home and passed away shortly after arriving at the hospital. Her death at the age of 32 was attributed to heart failure caused by complications from anorexia nervosa. Jim Morrison remains an enduring figure in rock history, captivating fans with his charismatic stage presence and poetic lyrics. As the frontman of The Doors, his allure lay in his enigmatic persona and his ability to meld desert trips and Greek mythology into the fabric of psychedelic rock. Morrison lived a lifestyle he sang about, fast and intense. While LSD was prevalent in the counterculture, alcohol became Morrison's primary vice by 1969. Just 2 years after The Doors soared to fame, his addiction began to visibly affect him. Concerts often descended into chaotic scenes, culminating in a notorious arrest in Florida for indecent exposure in 1971. Morrison relocated to Paris with his girlfriend Pamela Courson, seeking respite from the tumult of fame and legal troubles. Tragically, it was in Paris where Courson discovered Morrison lifeless in their bathtub. Officially, his death at the age of 27 was attributed to heart failure, though no autopsy was conducted. Reflecting on his untimely passing, Doors bandmate Robbie Krieger lamented Morrison's unfulfilled potential, saying he would have never stopped making music. Morrison's legacy endures, his influence transcending his brief life. His mysterious and rebellious spirit continues to captivate new generations of music enthusiasts. In a haunting parallel, Pamela Courson herself passed away in 1974, also at the age of 27, succumbing to a heroin overdose. Patsy Cline, renowned for her captivating voice and cross-genre appeal, cemented her place as one of the 20th century's greatest vocalists. With a unique blend of country soul and urban sophistication, she charmed audiences with hits like I Fall to Pieces, Walking After Midnight, and the iconic Crazy penned by Willie Nelson. Each song showcased her ability to navigate between honky-tonk ballads and lush orchestrated pop standards. Tragically, Cline's life was cut short in 1963 when the plane she was traveling in crashed near Camden, Tennessee. Despite her untimely death, her posthumous releases including Sweet Dreams of You and Faded Love continued to captivate listeners and ensured her enduring legacy. In 1973, she made history as the first solo female artist inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, a testament to her lasting impact on the genre. Cline's influence extends beyond her music. Her portrayal in films like the Loretta Lynn biopic Coal Miner's Daughter and Jessica Lange's depiction in Sweet Dreams brought her story to new audiences, further elevating her status. Her greatest hits album remains a bestseller, surpassing 10 million copies sold and setting records for chart longevity in the Guinness World Records. Today, Nashville pays homage to her with a Patsy Cline Museum, a shrine celebrating her career milestones and personal artifacts. More than 50 years after her passing, artists such as Reba McEntire, Casey Musgraves, and LeAnn Rimes continue to draw inspiration from her timeless style and vocal prowess, reaffirming Cline's enduring influence on country music and beyond. Emerging from a period of seclusion in the late 1970s, John Lennon became a pivotal figure in music history as a member of the Beatles. After dedicating several years to family life with his wife Yoko Ono and their son Sean, he re-entered the public eye in late 1980 with renewed creativity and optimism. Eager to share his latest album, Double Fantasy, the album was a collaborative effort with Ono and marked a significant return to form, receiving critical acclaim reminiscent of his earlier solo work like Imagine. The album's opening track, Just Like Starting Over, captured Lennon's hopeful outlook on the future. On December 8, 1980, he spent the day engaging with radio stations, posing for the cover of Rolling Stone, and working on a remix at the record plant. Tragically, upon returning home, Lennon encountered Mark David Chapman, a disturbed fan who fatally shot him. The news of Lennon's death sent shockwaves around the world, with Howard Cosell announcing it on Monday Night Football. Mourners gathered at the scene of the shooting, expressing grief and singing songs of peace, reflecting on Lennon's profound impact. Tom Petty highlighted how the Beatles transcended mere entertainment, becoming symbols of social change and authenticity. John Lennon meant everything to Petty, who recalled in a 2000 interview with Rolling Stone that when he was young and watching the Beatles perform on TV, they were the first ones who weren't just saying showbiz banter. They actually said something. He was a great role model for my whole generation. Buddy Holly, a pioneering figure in rock and roll, epitomized the youthful spirit and innovation of 1950s music culture. As a member of the Crickets, and later, as a solo artist, Holly popularized the use of two guitars, bass, and drums in rock bands, influencing generations of musicians. Hits like That'll Be the Day, Not Fade Away, and It's So Easy became anthems of the era, shaping the genre with their distinctive sound and energetic performances. Holly's impact extended far beyond his own era, influencing future legends like John Lennon and Paul McCartney of the Beatles. McCartney acknowledged Holly's influence on his songwriting, reflecting on how he and Lennon emulated Holly's style in their early compositions. This admiration and emulation ultimately contributed to the formation of their iconic band. During Holly's rise, Ritchie Valens emerged as a trailblazer in the Spanish-speaking rock and roll movement with his breakout hit La Bamba. Valens became the first Latino musician to achieve mainstream success in rock and roll, inspiring a new generation of Latino artists. J.P. the Big Bopper Richardson, known for his comedic flair and hit songs like Chantilly Lace, also contributed to the vibrant rock and roll scene of the 1950s. Richardson, a talented songwriter, penned George Jones's first #1 country hit, White Lightning, showcasing his versatility beyond performing. Tragically, these three influential artists, Holly, Valens, and Richardson, met their untimely end in a tragic plane crash on February 3, 1959, during the Winter Dance Party Tour. Seeking respite from logistical challenges, Holly chartered a small plane to their next destination, unaware of the impending tragedy. Shortly after takeoff, the plane crashed into a cornfield near Clear Lake, Iowa, claiming the lives of Holly, Valens, Richardson, and the pilot. This catastrophic event, immortalized as the day the music died by Don McLean in his iconic song American Pie, shook the music world to its core, marking a profound loss of talent and potential, leaving an indelible void in rock and roll history. Billie Holiday remains one of the most revered jazz singers of the swing era. Celebrated for her distinctive voice and emotive performances, her interpretations of classics like What a Little Moonlight Can Do, Summertime Strange Fruit, and God Bless the Child captured the hearts of audiences and cemented her status as a musical icon. Holiday broke barriers as one of the first African-American female singers to collaborate with a white band, notably joining Artie Shaw's orchestra. Her performances, including a memorable concert at Carnegie Hall, drew sold-out crowds and earned critical acclaim, showcasing her talent and versatility. Behind the scenes, however, Holiday's life was marked by personal struggles. She faced abusive relationships, wrestled with a challenging temperament, and battled substance abuse throughout her career. These issues culminated in periods of turmoil, including a brief incarceration in 1959. Holiday's health took a severe downturn when she was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver. During a hospitalization for her condition, she was controversially arrested on narcotics charges and handcuffed to her hospital bed, an indignity that underscored the injustices she faced. Tragically, Holiday passed away at the age of 44 from pulmonary edema and heart failure directly resulting from her deteriorating liver condition. Nat King Cole possessed one of the most unforgettable voices in music history. He overcame racism to become a Grammy-winning singer, pianist, songwriter, actor, and host of his own television series, making him the first African-American man to do so. He secured his place in entertainment history with classics like the Christmas song, Mona Lisa, Too Young, and many more. Unfortunately, health problems arose, and in late 1964, he was diagnosed with advanced lung cancer. Despite efforts to treat it, he completed his final album and tragically passed away at the young age of 45, less than 2 months after his diagnosis. In the spring of 1967, Jimi Hendrix released his explosive debut album, Are You Experienced?, marking the beginning of his legendary career as a guitar virtuoso. Over the following 3 years, he solidified his status as the ultimate guitar god, setting a standard that would inspire generations to come. What set Hendrix apart was the seemingly effortless way his talent flowed through him, as noted by Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine. Whether delivering hard-rocking pyrotechnics or soulful meditations like Castles Made of Sand, Hendrix showcased a range of musical prowess that captivated audiences worldwide. His final album, Band of Gypsies, delved into funk, demonstrating his innovative spirit. Tragically, following a memorable performance of a psychedelic rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner at Woodstock, Hendrix was found dead. Despite his struggles with drug use, his death was deemed accidental, though suicide was not ruled out. His legacy lives on through posthumous releases, documentaries, and films, continuing to inspire aspiring guitarists. As John Mayer aptly put it, Hendrix's playing was a reflection of his innermost self, a blend of technical expertise and heartfelt passion that has left an indelible mark on the world of music. Janis Joplin was the first woman rock star, blazing a trail through a buttoned-up, sexist culture with raw, unfiltered passion. Growing up in Texas, she faced ridicule from her hometown peers, driving her to San Francisco at the height of the hippie movement. Joining Big Brother and the Holding Company, she shone at the Monterey Pop Festival before embarking on a solo career. Her debut album, Got Them Old Cosmic Blues Again Mama, set the stage for her follow-up work. Despite media chaos and personal struggles, including a turbulent relationship, Joplin's talents shone bright. Tragically, just weeks after Jimi Hendrix's death, she succumbed to a heroin overdose in a Hollywood hotel room. Posthumously, her album Pearl soared to success, featuring hits like Me and Bobby McGee and Mercedes-Benz, showcasing her unmatched vocal power and emotional depth. Rosanne Cash aptly noted that Joplin held nothing back, pushing boundaries with every soul-stirring performance. Prince, one of the most singularly talented artists to ever sign a record contract, produced, arranged, composed, and performed all the music on his debut album For You when he was just 19. Throughout his career, he seamlessly hopped from instrument to instrument with phenomenal ease. A hitmaker in the late 70s and early 80s, thanks to his proactive sexually charged image and chart-topping singles like I Want to Be Your Lover, Uptown, and Controversy. Ready for prime time with his album 1999, showcasing his multiracial, multi-gender band The Revolution, he became a megastar with Purple Rain, its diamond-certified soundtrack featuring hits like Let's Go Crazy, the epic title track, and The Revolutionary When Doves Cry. Questlove once said it was a song with hardly any music, yet it had a massive influence. With his flamboyant look, falsetto voice, and ability to play a variety of instruments, Prince was one of the most original and diverse artists of all time. Among his accolades was an Oscar for Best Original Song Score for Purple Rain in 1984. 1 week before his death, despite having the flu, he performed his final show. Sadly, he was found unresponsive at his home, having passed away at 57 due to an accidental overdose of fentanyl. Prince remains one of the most influential artists of all time. Whitney Houston, the only performer with 7 consecutive #1 hits on the Billboard 100, garnered 6 Grammys, 11 Billboard Music Awards, and an Emmy. Despite her success, she wrestled with drug and alcohol addiction. Houston was discovered unconscious and submerged in a hotel bathtub, later revealed to have drowned accidentally due to drug use, including cocaine. Over a decade after her passing, her music remains immensely popular, with her I Will Always Love You video surpassing 1 billion views on YouTube, marking her as the first solo artist from the 20th century to achieve this milestone. John Denver, an Emmy and Grammy-winning artist, was known for his soothing vocals and acoustic guitar skills. As one of America's best-selling crossover artists, hits like Take Me Home Country Roads and Rocky Mountain High solidified his place in music history. Despite a love for flying, a revoked medical certification didn't deter him from taking off in a light plane he recently purchased. Tragically, he crashed into Monterey Bay at the age of 53. Investigations found that the crash was due to his inability to switch fuel tanks because of an unusual design. Denver, the sole occupant, succumbed to multiple blunt force traumas. There were no drugs or alcohol in his system. His untimely death left a void in the music industry and the hearts of his fans. Freddie Mercury's voice was legendary, effortlessly shifting from ballads to guttural growls, as seen in Killer Queen. He brought drama to hard rock, inspiring operatic singing in Queen's music. Their humorous side is evident in songs like Seaside Rendezvous and the iconic drag outfits in I Wanna Break Free. On stage, Mercury commanded the crowds with flamboyant energy, leading massive sing-alongs to hits like We Will Rock You. My Chemical Romance's Gerard Way admired Mercury's authentic stage presence. Despite his public persona, Mercury kept his private life quiet, becoming an LGBT icon. In the early 90s, news of his AIDS diagnosis surfaced, shortly before his death from bronchial pneumonia. With a popularity that rivaled Elvis's, Ricky Nelson first found fame on his parents' sitcom The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. The show showcased his talent and helped launch his music career. His hit song Poor Little Fool made history as the very first #1 hit on Billboard's Top 100 chart. Throughout his career, he charted an impressive 63 songs on this legendary pop chart, establishing himself as a significant figure in the music industry. However, as time went on, his career began to wane. In 1985, he sought to revive his fame with a comeback tour. To facilitate his travels, he purchased a private plane, despite the aircraft having ongoing mechanical issues. Tragically, during one of his flights, the plane crash-landed, reportedly due to a fire caused by a faulty heater. This devastating incident claimed the lives of Nelson and 6 passengers, including his girlfriend, while the 2 pilots managed to escape the wreck. Marvin Gaye, one of the most impassioned voices in popular music, swiftly ascended the pop charts in the 60s with a string of catchy, moving singles like Ain't That Peculiar, You're All I Need to Get By, and the enduring I Heard It Through the Grapevine. He established himself as a hit maker in 1971, digging deep into himself to create soul music. His album, What's Going On, was seen as a plea for compassion and humanity during the Vietnam War, hailed as one of the most profound musical statements. In the following years, he explored sexier and lighter terrain, scoring #1 hits with Let's Get It On and Got to Give It Up. Despite personal struggles, including divorce, bankruptcy, depression, and addiction, Marvin's music continued to inspire. Tragically, on the day before his 45th birthday, his father, a preacher, shot him following an argument. This marked the tragic end to the life of a legendary musician.